What is up, mortals? Alex here. Today I have a deck profile for you guys. I have a Nekroz deck profile, as you can see by the title and by the on the screen now. This is not your typical standard Nekroz list, but it's fairly standard. I mean, you have to play some of the cards like the Chalice, or the some people do not play the level 10 incantation monster or the field spell over here. But I am playing one of each because of the amount of combos, the plays, advantages you generate through those. I'm still maximizing on the these two, since they are the ones that search the monsters and the spells, the ritual spells from the deck. These two, the reason why I'm not playing three of each is because I don't really want to draw that many incantations. Yeah, drawing this with the field spell or just either of these three is still pretty good because it lets you get to your main core, which is this part over here, the Brios, the Colossalos, and the Unicorn, which is your win condition a lot of the times. The deck stop revolving around Valkyries as much, that's why I'm only playing two. You want to resolve a Valkyries and then have one in hand to protect your field or the battle phase, just in case your opponent overruns your Unicorn, because you're usually going to end up on a Unicorn protected with decisive armor or Gungnir, which, as you can see, I'm still playing one of each. It's really good to like run over 3,000 beaters sometimes. So you Trish them, then decisive armor the Trish, and then run over whatever monster they have. It's a way to out Borrelsword or Borreload. Honestly, there's not many things that you can do to a Borreload if you don't have Unicorn. So Unicorn, decisive armor, you beat over it. And Borreload is very popular right now. So just saying, these two are really good. You hardly ever summon her, like she never hits the field, but decisive armor actually does, especially now there's a lot of back row decks. Decisive armor is just going to keep forcing those face downs. Two Colossalos because the deck searches a lot. It really does. And it's a way to get to your Kaleidoscope Unicorn play easy, and then you'll have a level 3 for Mirror to banish later. You never really want to see him in hand. The only matchup that you want him against is Thunder Dragon, because that's a way to turn off Colossus, and if you can summon any ritual, then the deals with Colossus, well, then just summon Brio and then bounce him back. So that's why I'm maximizing on Brio, because it's at 3, he searches everybody. He searches the new unbanned Shred. I wanted this card unbanned for so long. Now that the deck has it again, it's really hard to play it because you never really want to see him, because the incantation monsters are usually the ones that you're using to be tributed. But you still play Shred, because when he's tributed and he counts for the whole ritual summon of a Nekroz ritual monster, he can get you a warrior, which is these 7 right here. Usually it's going to be Brio or Trish, and then Trish your opponent after banishing the Shred in the graveyard with the mirror. And that's why I'm playing Dense Princes as well, because there are Veilers running around, they're impermanents, back row decks just would lose to Dense Princes. While she's face up on the field, your opponent can't target your ritual monsters with effects. And if you have a Valkyrie protecting her, then your opponent won't be able to really do anything. And her other effect is that when you try to ritual summon, your opponent can't respond to the activation, which is really crazy sometimes. It's really good. And the 3 Manju, standard. I'm not playing Sanju anymore. I don't think you need to, since the deck already generates everything. A lot of the problem that the deck has now is that it searches too much to do nothing really. But the incantation guys with the field spell and the new guy over here, level 10, really good. And I'll get to that in a little bit. So I have 3 Manjus. The Christia, because it's searchable by the 1 Benton. I was playing 2, and I feel like you should maybe play 2 as well, because there's a play that if you have 2 Bentons in your deck, you can summon Christia turn 1. That I could show you guys if you guys want that. Just let me know down below or like the video. If you guys want to see test hands on Nekroz, let me know. I uploaded a few other test hands, and they're doing pretty well. But going back to the deck, he is just so good. Being able to lock down your opponent, summon Christia Valkyrie's Pass is really good. You're going to generate advantage. And the cool thing about Christia Valkyries is that you can tribute the Christia with the Valkyrie's effect to draw from the field, then he will go to the top of the deck, and then you will right away draw it, so you can like do more plays and then summon Christia again. It's crazy the combinations of these two. Or you could just have Christia and win by battle. You do send a lot of fairies to the graveyard, mainly the Heralds and the Manjus and the Benton, which Christia is really good. Then for the ritual non-Necroz monsters, Benton, like I already explained, it searches your engine in Ori Wincon. Really, really good. Saravas has two very amazing effects. I have always loved this card. One of my favorite rituals. Picked up a Playstate day one, and I still have it. It's a hand trap, much like Trishula. If you didn't know, Trishula has another effect, not just trash your opponent. It actually protects your opponent, your Necroz monsters from targeting. This is what this does. But any monster, of course. You can do it to a Necroz, you can do it to an Incantation, or whatever. But it also has on field effects. That if your opponent summons a monster, you can bounce him to the hand and negate that summon. But how do we summon right here? The Incantation spell card lets you ritual summon any ritual monster. He's level 7, 3 and 4, 7, 3 and 4. But I think with this you can only ritual summon Incantation. So all of these guys, the levels add up. 9, 11, well, sorry about that. 9, 11, 10, 7, 8. So you can decide what to ritual summon. So you're allowed to do that because of this, and Saravas protects your field. Not just when you're trying to trish your opponent and they have Widow Anchor or Effect Veil or Impermanence. You can protect it with Saravas, and then he's really good. It also protects Christia from being Impermanent or Widow Anchor. It's a really good card. For the last two, I'm doing one Chalice and one Creator. Chalice, self-explanatory, activate in hand, discard any card, not per cost, so you can send himself, and special summon one Incantation from your deck. Really, really good. On field, effect is if he's on field, you can tribute another Incantation to pop a card your opponent controls. Also, if you didn't ritual summon after using the effect on a hand, you'll take, is it 1250 or 2250? Oh, you just take 2500 damage, which is ridiculous. Like 25 really could have been 2000 or 3000 or whatever. But he's good. Just the one-off. You can add him back with this guy. You can search him with him. You can search him with Manju. You can search him with Prab, which is kind of cool. And his own field effect, spot removal. It's really good. This guy over here. He, like these two cards, the field spell and the creator, make a lot of new cool decks. He is nuts. He gets you 4 incantations from the graveyard. The attacks and effects are 0, the effects are negative, but who cares? They're 4 2000 beaters for free. Like, holy crap. And their effects are negated, meaning you can link now. You can link summon. And that's when the creativity comes into play. You can play a few links and do Nekroz links and like Saryuya's or Nightmare Nekroz. Just ways to play the deck. But I am not playing more than one because I do not want to break. That's not the main concept of the deck. It's an option that's there and I'm allowed to use it, so I will use it. Just the one. He's really, really good. The field spell over here. The field spell is at 1, even though it's really good to trigger these guys, since you have to shuffle 1 and then special summon 2 with the same name. But I don't want to see it like that. If I happen to draw it through a Valk play, draw 2, and deck thinning a lot, draw 2, and then maybe I'll draw into this, cool. Big, that's going to be a plus. But if not, it's just, like, you don't really need it to work. It's just that it's cool to pop a card every turn, and the initial activation and get a Brio. So just the one-off. I already explained the one incantation spell. It's so good. I feel like you should play this card. It gives you an amazing turn 2 if you see this turn 1. It's really, really good. Big fan of this card. 3 preps because a 3, and it searches Brio, that searches the entire deck, or it searches Chalice, which searches the entire deck. So 3. Very happy about this. For the Nekroz ritual spells, I'm only doing 2 cycle, 2 mirrors, and 1 kaleidoscope. The ratio has been changing a lot. It really, really has. First, you play 2 of each, hands down. Then people cut mirror to 1 and kaleidoscope to 3, and then the still the 2 cycle. And I guess you want to see unicorn, or you want to like double ritual summon with kaleidoscope, but just 1 is fine. You can recur it with this. You can search it with anywhere. Like after the initial unicorn play, you don't really need it. Later on, if you can get that unicorn back to your hand, you can pitch the unicorn to get the kaleidoscope, and then Trish colossals your opponent. But 1 is working. The one that you could cut to 1, it's a mirror. But being able to free ritual summon a high level guy, mainly Trish or Decisive Armor, for essentially free, it's still good to pass. So 2, and my favorite one, and most people's favorites, cycle. Really, really good. You could play 3 if you want to. I just feel that the third one never comes up, at least for me. But 2 is really good. Weird ratios in a lot of these, but I've been testing the deck for so long. As you can see in the channel, there's a lot of Nekroz videos. I tried everything, and this is the better way to play it. You can play 60 cards and maximize on these and more Bentens and Christias and Foolish Burial or whatever that lets you send a guy from the extra deck, or Gale Dogra, but that's like really bricky and really dangerous. This is a lot more tame and consistent. It works. A lot of people don't like Gungnir, I understand, but Unicorn can just win you a game, and if you have Gungnir to protect him, that's really, really strong. Barring Kaiju, he's just going to be sticking there. Bouncing Brios and then protecting it and then bouncing some more, it's like really, really good. So I'm going to keep her. This size farmer boosts everyone up, but I'm really happy with the list. That's the main deck. For the extra deck, you can play whatever you want, honestly, but there are some cards that you must have. The must-have are the Heralds. You need these 2 because Kaleidoscope, Unicorn, and sometimes you can do it twice. It could happen. 111 and 112 comes up. You want to use those to summon Valkyries and Colossalos for 11, Valkyries and this for 12. We can do Gungnir and Unicorn for 11. There's a lot of combinations, so you want to keep those for sure. Also keep 1 of this because it could be a win con. You can get rid of all 3 of your rituals and summon this dude, and it's pretty much over. A lot of decks will just lose to that. Baguska. Sometimes you might have a slow hand, and Baguska is an FTK against a lot of decks. So it's Dweller. You just gotta have that. There's a cool play that the main Unicorn starter opens up, and it's thanks to Nyarla. You can re-equip the Herald and then search again. And if you have Nyarla, might as well play Acetoth. You can just rank on top of it. You go for a lot of damage. Tornado Dragon, Cowboy, and Utopia Boys should be here, and I would recommend playing them. It's just up to you, since now we are able to link summon with these. I felt that playing a few Nightmares would be good, picking a Boro monster of our choice would be smart. We still have the ritual plays and the link plays now, so I feel like that's very strong, but I feel like all of these are mandatory to your main deck, extra deck, I guess. Let me know what you think of the video. There's a lot going on, a lot of jumping around, but I feel like showing you the entirety of the deck and like explaining why some cards are there would be a little better. So if you guys like this, of course, let me know down below. Comment, ask questions if you have any suggestions. I'll gladly take those on. If you guys want me to work on a deck or do a deck profile for a specific deck, let me know. Again, questions, check my channel for more videos like this. I have lots and lots of deck profiles and looking into doing more things, but I've been limited. But besides the point, thank you for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed the deck. Subscribe if you want to stay tuned. I will be bringing you more videos like this, like I said. So hopefully you did not, or you were not disappointed. Alex out. Peace.